back to another Salmon Slayers TV video. Today, we will be going over tips and techniques to set you up right for Puget Sound Blackmouth trolling. So stay tuned. Well guys, the first thing we'll go over is jigs. We know it's not technically trolling, but it's one of the very popular ways people target Blackmouth in the Puget Sound, as well as up in the San Juans and even up into the southern Canada region. So, a very popular color in the winter is white. Some of these actually glow up, which is a nice factor. You put it in the sun or put a flashlight on it, it'll glow up a little bit underwater, which can help imitate a candlefish. That's pretty much what all these are supposed to look like, except we like the brand Point Wilson darts. They make great jigs. You wash them off, they won't get all rusty, and they just last. And they also make a little thicker version, if you can see the difference. This one's supposed to imitate more of like an anchovy or a herring. They make it, you can see they range in all different sizes. So greens also are good. One of the big things is, seems like kings really like green, especially in the winter. They like a green tint on a lot of their stuff. So always remember to pinch your barb. I don't know if you can see that, but we want our barbs pinched as well. You'll see these don't have it, but we like putting a roller swivel, so that way when we do get a fish, you can't use the split ring as leverage. You'll see that has free 360 rotation, whereas these, once you get tension, it can bind on that and it'll use that as leverage to pop the hook out. So it might just be something to think of. Don't go cheap on your hooks. In our opinion, the best way to fish jigs is to have a main line of braid on your reel, because it gives you direct connection with zero stretch, so you'll feel exactly what's going on the bottom and you'll get a good hook set. With maybe a 5 or 6 foot bumper section of monofilament or fluorocarbon, all that's doing is just giving you a clear line so the fish can't see what's coming to the jig. And for winter blackmouth, you're mainly going to want to work these right along the bottom. Winter blackmouth aren't exactly like summer kings. They're usually going to stick to the bottom 10 feet of water. So if you do not feel your lure hitting the bottom once in a while, you're probably not in the zone, although there's always exceptions. The next thing we're going to get into is spoons. Spoons can be run straight out of the downriver clip or straight behind a meat line weight without a flasher, but we always usually add a flasher just to put extra flash, and it'll give your spoon a little bit of extra action depending on how close it is to the flasher. Further behind the flasher, it's basically not going to have any, it's just going to wobble just like it would, but if you put it a little closer to the flasher, you might get a little circular kicking action just like a hoochie gets from a flasher. So real quick, we'll go over some popular colors. More of the popular colors are definitely going to be your cookies and cream. You see on this one we've added a little glow hoochie. This is more of a summer thing. We don't really use it for winters, but you never know if they're biting on small hoochies. You can see just a bigger spoon, same color, cookies and cream. Pretty sure this is called the Irish. Yeah, it's called the Irish cream. This is a good pattern. You got the Gibbs Skinny G. Similar. This pattern is similar to the Red Racer color, but Gibbs calls this the Outfitter. So that's definitely a good spoon. People really like the thin profile. It kind of reminds you of a needlefish or a candlefish, or even sand lance. So definitely all these spoons are meant to fish right on the bottom for blackmouth. You should even sometimes see scrapes on your spoon from dragging in the dirt. Wonder Bread is a very popular color. It's getting harder to find as the years go on, but this is definitely a big producer just a couple years ago. Of course, you got all silver. Looks like a bait fish, reflective. This is what people refer to as Red Racer, and it also just has a little kicker blade. This is just blue silverish. So real quick, we'd like to talk about hooks. You'll see when spoons come stock, they usually come with like a, I don't know if it's nickel finished or what it is. It's a hook that's just sprayed with a protective coating, and this works really good for your first couple uses. But once the salt water starts eating away at the hook, it's just a coating that's good. So once it gets past that, your hook's basically shot. Your point's going to be dull no matter how much you try to sharpen it. So what we like to do, as you can see we did with this spoon, and we also like to do this with our jigs. We'll take Gamakatsu 3/0 Siwash hooks. These are open eye, so you can drop it into the ring and just crimp it on, and you're good to go. Just make sure you pinch the barb or buy barbless hooks already. And then every 30 minutes, hour, or obviously every time you take it out of the salt water, we like to use something called a hook file. It's just as simple as taking the hook and running it down the file a couple times. This just gets you a razor sharp point on your hooks, and it basically lets you know that if you get a fish biting on your hook, it's going to get hooked, because you don't want to lose fish due to dull hooks. That would just be terrible. It'd be devastating. So this right here is a plug. You can use it right off your meat line weight, or if you're downrigger fishing, you usually run this right out of the clip. You don't run a flasher with this. And what's nice about this is you run it 40 feet behind your clip, because you don't want it close to your clip, because when you do turns with the boat, if it's on the inside of your turn, what it's going to do is there won't be as much pressure, water flowing over this diving face, so it'll come up in the water column a little bit. And then as this is on the outside of a turn, if it's 40 feet behind your boat, theoretically it's going to dive 5 or 10 feet because it's speeding up, and the faster this is going, the deeper it's diving. You can hear this one has a rattle in it. It's just comes standard most overboard plugs, and plugs are definitely something that is generally a hot color. Usually you'll find one that's working good and it's going to work good for a while, and then it'll switch. So you're just going to have to experiment with that and find out, or get a report. But like we say, you want to make the reports, not follow the reports. So here at Salmon Slayers TV, we're here to educate you and inform you on what you should be doing. So next up is hoochies. Hoochies are a lure that's completely dependent on your flasher. So depending how close the hoochie is to your flasher, the closer it is, the quicker it's going to whip in a circle. The further away it is, it's going to do a slow auger motion. That's generally what kings like, but you can experiment for blackmouth. So common flasher colors for blackmouth are just your classic red. You have your greens, and you have your ones with like LED lights and stuff. And there's some couple other oddball colors that can work really good. And also, play around with the material of your flasher. We have plastic ones, and they also make some other stuff. So for hoochies, generally we like them 30 to 42 inches behind the flasher is what we're looking at for a good length. Green and white splatters, obviously great color. There's these, they call this a green splatterback, I think, and this side glows. Glow and UV are definitely something you want for blackmouth in your lures and your flasher. It gets their attention when it's darker in the depths, and it really can't hurt you. So you might as well have it. And just an all white, like a purple haze type hoochie. This works really good for summer kings, but I'm sure it'll work for winters as well. We haven't really experimented much with this color, but you can definitely catch some fish on it. Then you have like your cookies and cream combo. Again, this is just a normal glow, and I like to keep my hoochies pre-rigged up in a bag with the hooks, and I put little glow beads in there to space it, so the hooks are toward the back. That way you get all the short strikers. You want it ready to go. If you want to see how to make them, we made a video on that. Just go to our channel and look at the video called How to Tie Hoochies for Kings. It'd be a great video. Well, and then one thing we didn't really talk about that's almost imperative for blackmouth during certain bites, when they just won't bite anything other than exactly what they're looking for. See how much thinner these hoochies are than the bigger ones? These really represent a needlefish. It's more than they do like a squid. And sometimes this is the only thing they'll bite. They'll get lockjawed, and the only thing they'll bite is a really thin needle profile. So what we like to do is, instead of trying to fit beads up in there to space it from the hooks, we'll take like a Starbucks drink straw, those really thin straws. We'll chop it and we'll slide it on our line to space the hooks down. That can work really good. Guys, as far as rod selection goes, you're going to want to use something in the 8 to 9.5 foot range if you're using a downrigger. And don't underestimate the meat line. A lot of people shame them or badmouth them, but really, meat lines are really productive. It gets your gear on the bottom quick, no nonsense. But in our opinion, it's a lot more fun to fight a fish on a normal rod. So, just something to play around with, but in today's day and age, it is pretty hard to come across fish, so whatever works for you, just make sure you have something that's sensitive so you can detect the bite, as well as some backbone, so if you hook into a bigger fish, you can actually control it.
Well guys, thank you for watching this episode of Salmon Slayers TV, and if you like what you saw, go down and subscribe and hit that like button. It really helps us out, help us reach 1,000 subscribers. That's our goal. And if you want to see how to rig up any more of these lures or how to rig them up, just comment down below and we'll get a video out for you guys. And comment down below on how your winter blackmouth season has been so far. As always, tight lines.